Welcome to the Deep Dive Learner. Today, we're really focusing in on something pretty pivotal for career growth.
Yeah, that jump, right, from being a manager to actually being a leader.
Exactly. We've been diving deep into Adam Bryant's book, The Leap to Leader. It's just packed with insights drawn from, I think, hundreds of interviews.
That's right, hundreds, people who've actually made that transition successfully.
So our mission today is, well, to boil it all down, get to the absolute core insights for you, learner, so you can grasp what this big step really means without feeling, swamped.
Right. And Laszlo Bock called it an indispensable guide. That's high praise.
It really is, and I love that question from Deborah Lee James. She includes, are you drawn to the fire?
That just cuts right to it, doesn't it? Because this isn't like just a new title on your business card.
No, it's fundamental. A whole different way of thinking about your work, your impact.
Yeah, real shift.
Bryant lays it out right away. This leap, it means total ownership, grappling with the hard decisions.
And this is a big one-stepping back from the individual tasks, the stuff you were probably really good at as a manager.
Yeah, that can be tough. It's about crafting your own leadership style now, writing your own playbook.
And another tricky bit. Prioritizing respect, even if it means not always being, well, popular.
Right, setting the direction, trusting the team. That Margaret Heffernan quote really resonated with me.
Oh, the one about the cage door.
Yeah. Many people feel a bit like the cage door is open, but nobody's confident to go through it.
It perfectly captures that feeling, doesn't it? That hesitation, maybe even a bit of fear.
Absolutely. So to help navigate this, learner, we've structured things logically. We'll start with the foundation, what makes a truly great manager, because that's really where this journey begins.
Makes sense. You can't really lead effectively if you haven't mastered managing.
And then we'll broaden out, look at the bigger picture leadership stuff. Okay, so first things first. The book hits you with a direct question. Do you really want to lead?
Seems simple, but it's actually quite profound. It forces some real self-reflection.
Definitely. That story about Penny Hersher, her early days as a CEO.
Oh yeah, powerful example. She admitted feeling totally unprepared, like she was waiting for someone to tell her what to do.
Right. It just throws that shift in accountability into sharp relief. Suddenly, the buck stops with you.
Completely, and that ties into the why. Why do you actually want this?
Imagine that town hall scenario the book poses. Someone asks you straight up, why do you want to lead?
Yeah.
What's your real answer?
You need that answer, that intrinsic motivation. That's your fuel.
Exactly. It's what gets you through the tough times, the self-doubt. It can't just be about status or more money.
No, it has to be deeper. Interestingly, John Donovan, former CEO at AT&T Communications, he wasn't even sure he always wanted to be in charge.
Right. He saw value in following sometimes.
Yeah, it shows leadership isn't this, binary thing. You're either leading or you're not. It's more nuanced.
Definitely. And your desire might change, depending on the role, where you are in your career.
To make this more concrete, the book uses these leader profiles. Marcus Kennedy from Intel is the first one.
His backstory is incredible. Born prematurely, facing huge odds.
And it gave him this intense appreciation for time. He calls himself impatient, but in a results-driven way.
It's fascinating how those early life things shape you, right? That sense of urgency, that focus, it clearly comes from that experience.
Absolutely. And his advice is golden. You don't have to be the smartest person there to add value.
I love that anecdote about him speaking up in that huge executive meeting at Intel. Feeling the imposter syndrome, but doing it anyway.
Yes. And the CEO's positive reaction, it just proves you need to bring your unique view, even if it feels intimidating.
Your perspective is valuable precisely because it's unique. Push past the doubt.
Right. Okay, so let's pivot slightly. Because the path to being a leader, it's paved by being a great manager first.
This really hit home for me. Aaron Ein from UKG. His belief is so strong on this.
What's that?
He says people would rather have a maybe not great job working for a fantastic manager than a great job with a lousy one.
Wow, that's a powerful statement.
And he even argues that great management is the single biggest driver of shareholder value.
And he stresses how hard it is to be a truly good manager. It's not just something you're born with.
No, it takes real effort, learning, self-awareness. That courage to lead program they ran, it showed training isn't enough on its own.
Managers need to get how crucial their role is, how complex it is.
And a huge piece of that role, recognition. Beverly Kay and Sharon Jordan Evans nail it with that Crufton.
Am I great?
Yeah. We want to know if we matter, if our contribution had any meaning. It's fundamental. We all need that validation.
Absolutely. And Schaefer's breakdown of recognition is really helpful. 3 types.
Right. First, Thank people for what they did and be specific about the impact.
Second, give feedback on the how, strengths, but also maybe areas to improve.
And third, acknowledge the who, why that person specifically is valuable to the team, their unique contribution.
It's amazing how often managers drop the ball on this. The excuses Schaefer mentions: no time, fear of favoritism.
Yeah, but look at the cost. That Gallup stat, 68% of Americans getting no recognition all year. That's just, wow.
Huge missed opportunity. People thrive when they feel seen.
Okay, another key management skill, delegation, and avoiding that monkey parking thing.
Yes, where everyone brings their problems straight to your desk.
Art Tresdal's advice here is perfect. Don't just fix it for them, coach them, ask questions, help them find the solution.
It builds their skills, their confidence, and it keeps your own workload manageable. Empowerment.
Exactly. Now, this other concept was really interesting, the Leadership User Manual.
Oh, I love this. Inspired by Ivar Krogrud and Luke Levesque's Blueprint to Luke and His Quirks.
Right. It's basically a short doc where you tell your team your preferences, your pet peeves, how you like to communicate.
It just cuts through so much initial awkwardness and guessing games.
Totally. It's not about being demanding. It's about clarity, predictability, transparency. Lets people focus on the work, not on figuring you out.
Seems like a really smart, maybe even fun way to set expectations early on.
Yeah, I thought so too. Okay, let's shift gears. Advancing your career, getting those promotions, maybe without even directly asking, how does that work?
Well, it's partly a mindset shift, but also about positioning yourself strategically, getting into roles where you can have more influence.
Karen Abramson's advice seems key here. Focus on learning, broadening your skills, not just chasing the next title or raise.
Yeah, being open to opportunities you didn't plan for. Sometimes the best moves aren't linear. Don't be too rigid.
And when you do land a new role, that idea of merging into traffic.
Take time to understand the culture, how things work, before you start shaking things up.
Like this journalist coming into the New York Times trying to impose their old ways too soon, just backfired.
Exactly. Observe first. Learn. Adapt. Then lead change. Avoid that I know best attitude.
Which connects to that Post-it note challenge. You know, the informal reputation people have of you.
She's great at analysis, BUT.
Right, that but. The book says you need to actively tackle those perceived limits. Seek out roles that show you can do more than just the thing you're known for.
Eliminate the buts. Show your range, your adaptability. Become someone people see as versatile.
And here's a bit of a paradox. Often the best way to get promoted is just to crush your current job.
Be the reliable workhorse, not just the flashy show pony. Ron Kaplan's quote is perfect.
The world is, run by people you can count on. Reliability is huge.
Definitely. And Ursula Burns' idea of getting to zero fast in a new role.
Yeah, master the basics quickly, then find ways to significantly add value, transform the role somehow, over-deliver.
That shows real impact. And Bob Iger's point about patience is important too. Don't expect promotions on some unrealistic timeline.
Building that reputation takes time, consistent effort.
Which brings us to Brett Wilson's do-to-say ratio.
Simple but powerful. Do what you say you're going to do. Every time. Build that trust.
It's the foundation. Even small slip-ups can chip away at it. Okay, next vital piece. Building your network.
Networking. Sometimes feels a bit transactional.
It can. But Mary Elizabeth Poré from EY points out, at senior levels, it becomes less about the work and more about the network. You need those connections.
The book reframes it nicely, though.
Yeah.
Focus on building authentic relationships.
Right. Like working on projects together.
Yeah.
That's way more effective, more natural than just swapping cards at some event.
That idea of starting an internal corner office interview series, that sounds like a great proactive way to connect with senior folks.
Definitely. Builds relationships and you learn a ton.
And the pro tip, check LinkedIn, maybe even Facebook or Twitter before you meet someone new. Find some common ground.
Makes the first chat feel less forced, more personal. Creates a real connection point.
Shelley Archambault's strategy for reaching out is smart too.
Ask for specific advice, act on it, and then crucially follow up. Show them their advice mattered.
It builds goodwill, makes them invested in your success.
And understanding the mentor versus sponsor difference is key.
Mentors advise, sponsors advocate. You really need both.
And you need to invest in those relationships. Be coachable. Martha Samuelson's advice. Don't try to snow them. Be real.
Yeah, be open about where you need help. Ask good questions, show you've thought about it, make their time feel valued.
Rhonda Morris's personal board of directors idea is brilliant, too.
Yeah, intentionally building a diverse group of advisors and just being willing to ask directly, I need your help.
It shows vulnerability, trust.
Mhm.
People often want to help. And Lori Dickerson Fouché's point, always have your elevator pitch ready.
You never know when you'll bump into someone important. You're ready to articulate who you are and what you're aiming for.
Okay, so you're building connections, doing great work, but then there's navigating the internal stuff, organizational dynamics, tricky conversations.
Yeah, it's not all smooth sailing, is it? Carrie Hatch's warning about ignoring your peers.
Peers need to be your cheerleaders. So true. You need their support, or at least not their opposition. Invest in those horizontal relationships.
And if a peer is uncooperative, what then?
The book gives a couple of approaches. Mark Dumm suggests clearly explaining your why, your intentions, build understanding.
Or Clark Pettit's more direct route. Sometimes you just have to address the conflict head on, even if it's uncomfortable.
Like that example of calling out a lack of trust. Tough, but maybe necessary to clear the air. Don't let things fester.
Right. And matrixed organizations. They can be great for collaboration, but also, let's be honest, frustrating sometimes.
Definitely. Lots of dotted lines, potential conflicts. Building relationships across those lines is critical. Tom Kilroy's reframe of playing politics is useful.
He sees it as just building trust and understanding, like when he proactively met with that initially resistant senior person at Intel.
Yeah, bridge building. It's about the health of the whole system.
And to even have the bandwidth for that broader stuff, you first need to nail your own job. Optimize.
Like Toby Letke at Shopify, obsessed with efficiency, freeing up time and mental space.
So you can tackle bigger issues, maybe even spot problems your boss hasn't seen yet.
George Henn spotting those issues for Mark Benioff at Salesforce. That's huge value add initiative.
And being prepared for performance reviews, like Kevin Scherer at Amgen. Do your own assessment first.
Makes the conversation much more productive. Okay, the big one. Stay or go.
The book says don't tolerate truly toxic bosses, though Carol Bartz had that interesting take.
That you can learn from bad managers, maybe, but Bob Brennan pushes back hard on that.
Yeah, he emphasizes the toll it takes on your well-being. Zero tolerance for bad bosses. It's a personal call, I guess.
Definitely. And if you do decide to move, Tiger Tyagard's framework is smart.
Change only one thing at a time. Expertise, industry, or culture. Minimizes the risk.
Very strategic way to manage career transitions. Okay, learner, let's talk about initiative, making your voice heard, stepping up.
Jody McLean's story. The field hockey shot she didn't take.
Yeah, that regret fueled her. How she went assertively after that chief investment officer role at Eden's. That's taking the shot.
Don't wait to be asked. Put yourself forward, ask for what you want.
And tell your boss your goals. Clearly, but realistically. Open that door.
Focus on your strengths, your potential, not on some imaginary ideal candidate. Think, I can learn this. I have what it takes.
Absolutely. And when asking for that promotion or raise, Kathy Murphy's point, frame it around your value to the company, concrete contributions.
Shift it from, I want to, here's the impact I'm having. And don't be afraid to negotiate salary, benefits.
Right. Often there's room. Advocating for yourself is expected, respected.
Build that reputation. Problem solver. Clark Pettit again. Companies need people who fix things.
Definitely. And remember, career paths are often winding. Don't obsess over being on the right path. Just learn from where you are now.
Every experience has value if you look for it. That continuous learning mindset.
Okay, let's wrap up with some core leadership qualities Bryant highlights.
That idea of leading with generosity stood out. John Donovan not grabbing credit.
And seeing that positive karma pool effect. Team success often reflects back on you anyway.
And Pam Fields taking the blame for failures, giving credit for success. That builds incredible trust.
Huge. Ron Williams wanting his teams getting 15% better, that continuous improvement drive.
Always pushing, learning, adapting. And teamwork, obviously. Putting on the jersey.
Paul Along's we are all subcontractors to each other. Great analogy for interdependence.
Consistency is also massive. Avoiding that up-sucking thing, sucking up to bosses, ignoring your team.
My dad hated that too. It's just inauthentic, kills morale instantly. Be the same person up and down the chain.
Exactly. The book also offers good decision-making tools. Get team input. Look in the ugly mirror, face hard truths.
Understand that management versus leadership distinction. Balaji Krishnamurthy and Mary Elizabeth Pare had great takes on that.
And compartmentalization. Key for not getting overwhelmed. Dej Palawal's one-page strategy doc. Love that practical advice.
Keeps things focused. Nonverbals matter too, right? Self-awareness.
Oh, yeah. My own early experience, people read so much into your presence. Paul Bloch's primal faults idea, understanding your deeper driver's blind spots.
Really digging deep. Mary Elizabeth Poirier's journey is inspiring too. Struggling initially.
And realizing I just needed to be myself. Such a simple, powerful insight.
And her mentor's advice. Give away all the things that you love. Delegate to grow others and yourself.
Brilliant. It empowers people, frees you up for strategy. Her final point. As a leader, you're always on stage.
Constantly visible. Need that broad experience base. And keep seeking new challenges once you feel comfortable. Never stop learning.
And briefly, Brent Saunders mentioning the importance of mentoring diverse leaders. That's critical too.
Absolutely. Build stronger, more innovative organizations.
And that final quote from Layla Junna, reality is just source material. Wow.
Powerful, right. It's about choosing your narrative, your response. You have agency.
So learner, bringing this all home. That leap from manager to leader, it's complex, it's multifaceted.
Yeah, it involves deep self-awareness, mastering management fundamentals, navigating your career strategically.
Building real relationships and just committing to continuous growth.
Our aim here was to give you that roadmap, the core insights from the leap to leader, in a way that's hopefully clear and actionable.
Right. So here's a final thought for you, learner.
Hmm.
Pick one thing, just one insight from our chat today that really clicked for you, where you are right now.
And then think, what's one small, concrete step you can take this week? Just one action to apply that insight.
Move yourself a tiny bit closer to your own leadership goals. And keep pondering that big question. What's your why? Why do you want to lead?